All right. Well, I just finished fixing that bike rack, the electrical side of things. I've got to go to Bunnings now. So I was thinking about it. I wasn't gonna make a video on it, but I thought, bugger it. Even if like 0 people watch it, it would be handy for me to have just document it, I suppose. So yeah, it's about the new car, which I said I was never going to talk about until I got it again, but it's pretty hard. I've got a bit of a dodgy setup here for the camera. It's just on a tripod balancing on the chair, but hopefully it works out all right. Yeah, so what I was thinking to do, I've done it with all my other cars, but like especially the Torana, I've kept every receipt I've ever spent on it. I've kept a record of everything. Not so much as a spreadsheet and me typing in, you know, going through the receipts like an accountant and you know, typing in every single dollar amount. I'm sure I've missed a few here and there. All the major ones I've definitely got. So what I wanted to do for this new car is kind of do the same, but a bit better. Back in the day when I was doing the Torana, that was in 2000, so Google spreadsheets, Google Docs, online cloud storage, that pretty much wasn't a thing. Yeah, so there was none of that. So that's kind of what I want to do. I also want to keep a track. I don't do it to the Torana because I don't drive it very much. I want to keep a track of servicing and when I do things, like a bit of a logbook. So that'll be good. So yeah, I'm going to go through the process. Not saying that there's only one way to do it and my way is the best way. It's just the things that are important to me I'm going to write down. If you got a different car, it's probably different things that are important to you, so do that. But it's mainly a I've got one for this car and I've got one for the new little Hyundai that we've got as well. Pretty much like kilometers, you know, purchased at this kilometers, and then pretty much straight away I did air filter, cabin filter, spark plugs, things like that. And then just a couple of weekends ago we did an oil change on it. Me and my missus did an oil change and an oil filter. So oil and oil filter, it just cracked 70,000. So I do all my cars every 10,000 Ks regardless of, I don't really worry too much. We bought that car in March of 2023 and we serviced it in December of 23, and it's done 8,000 Ks since March to December. So that car's fine for doing, probably that's about what it's going to do, is about the 10,000 Ks a year. So whether it's a year and a half and I service it every 10,000, I don't go by age for that car and this car as well. I don't care about if the oil's in here for a year and a half, because it's not going to be much more than that. I do about 10,000, 15,000 Ks in 12 months. Whoop. Okay, so I've got to watch it on the brakes. I should put the seatbelt on it. So yeah, that's not an issue for these two cars, but the Nissan, especially the Torana, that Torana gets like 1,500 Ks a year, so I'm not changing the oil every year. After 1,500 Ks, it's still brand new. So the oil I leave in that car for about 3 years. I'll probably get out of that. Probably make some people cringe, but it doesn't need it. It's different if you're in a very humid climate or a very hot climate and the car's outside, or very cold climates, extreme conditions. My car's in the garage, it's undercover. It doesn't get more than 35-ish in that garage, doesn't get to freezing ever. That's when you got to worry about moisture in your oil, and if you only do short trips as well. Whereas when I drive that Torana, I'm driving it for a good hour at a time, so everything gets hot. The moisture, you know, when you start your car, you get moisture coming out of your exhaust tips. Well, that kind of moisture is what you're going to get with heat differences. Some things are cold, some things are hot, so that's when you start getting moisture in the oil. If you drive it for a long time, like an hour plus, and the oil gets up to operating temperature and stays there for a while, then it can boil all the moisture out. But if you drive your car like very short amount of time and you still got that steam coming out of your car when you're driving, that kind of deal, and then shut it off and leave it, that's when moisture gathers in your oil. And yeah, change it every year. Perth is, look up the climate, we don't get any extreme, well, we get hot, dry hot, but we don't have humidity and we don't get freezing temperatures, so we're pretty lucky with that. Plus my car's garage, like I said, so, and I don't drive it enough to even accumulate water enough to warrant changing it every year. So yeah, whatever, that's my choice and I'll live with it. Plus that car, that kind of car that it is, plus my dad being a mechanic, I've had 4 motors in that car, and I could probably run those cars without an air filter, like no air cleaner. And before any damage gets done from sucking in little particles of sand or whatever, we're rebuilding the motor or building a new motor. So that's the kind of car it is. Like, that's why racing cars don't really have air filters. They've just got, you know, because it's whatever. But yeah, different to a normal everyday car. Definitely run an air filter in them. But like I run an air filter on the Torana. But if I didn't, by the time an issue arose from not running an air filter, I'd be upgrading the engine, rebuilding it, doing something to it. So I'm not fussed with that. But yeah, but this new car, being that it is a new car, brand new car, a bit more sensitive to things like that. Like the oil that it takes is a real thin 030 oil. So yeah, you really do need to keep on top. They're saying, I think they're saying every 10,000 Ks for an oil change, which is perfect. That's exactly what I'm going to do. But with that car, I probably will, because I am going to drive it more than the Torana, but I probably won't do 10,000 Ks a year in it, I don't think. I'm not sure, but I don't think. If I really fall in love with it and just drive it at every opportunity, maybe even take it to, but my work's not that far anyway, but maybe if I was driving it, that's a nice yellow. I don't know if you can see that. That's very similar to the Torana yellow, very rich, deep yellow. That's really nice. I've never seen that colour. Yeah, so I definitely want to keep a track of everything. I don't write everything down for this car and the other car, because I just know every time it clicks over. So I've got 88,920 Ks on this car. So when it hits 90, I just do a service on it. And then every now and again I flick through the book and it might say, you know, at 100,000 do the brake fluid and the coolant. Then I'll do it at 90, you know. So I just keep on top of it. Yeah, so that might, I just have to stop in and grab a drink. Yeah, so that might be the mission when we get home, is to just come up with a kind of, what I want to do is have like a history spreadsheet and then a service spreadsheet. So just 2 things. I was thinking about having like an expenditure one, like for modification, but I'm not going to do a lot to it. So there's probably no need for that. I'll definitely keep the receipts. The only things I'm thinking about getting are window tint, ceramic coated, and I want to get the, if you have a look at a Nissan Z, it's got like a silver Katana Z streak thing above the windows in like a metal, I think it's metal, something like that. Well, yep, there we go. Everything happened at once. So I want to get that wrapped in black, so I can't see that being more than 50 or 100 bucks. So yeah, I'm probably not going to get too much done to it, so there's probably not need for like a whole spreadsheet to keep a track of modifications or anything like that, because there isn't going to be many. Guarantee that. Done that, been there, done that, I'm not doing it again. Alright, okay, I'm going. So yeah, I reckon two spreadsheets should be fine. Like I said, a service history and kind of what's coming up next kind of spreadsheet, just so like say you've done 17,000 Ks and you're getting ready to service it at 20, you can look at that and go, yeah, I serviced it at 10, so it definitely needs it at 20. And then I really hate car parks. So you're going to drive through? No. Yeah, and then you can see, oh, 20, I've got to do brake fluid and this and that. So that's what I kind of want to do. Is this guy's just so not confident in driving. There is no way I'm going to stay there parked next to him. I'm going to go actually over here, which is where I should normally park. Right out the way. There we go. Alright, I'll be back soon. Just got to run into the bank, Alright, just a quick visit. Oh, she's busy. What's going on? Everyone's waiting for me, I think. Oh, how's this guy? Don't know if you saw that. There's a guy on a one-wheel electric unicycle thing. Let's see if we can follow him. There he is. Only a matter of time. You only have to follow him for a couple of minutes. I reckon you'd see. Oh, he's on the road. What an idiot. No helmet, nothing. Beautiful. In flip-flops as well. I'm just going down to Bunnings. The missus wants some bleach, and you can get bleach, but it's just easy to get it from Bunnings. I was going down this way anyway. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do today. Is I'll film it. I won't like show you how to make a spreadsheet. I'm not doing any fancy formulas or anything like that. It's literally just I'll go through it once I've done it, but it's just like totals and stuff like that. It won't be anything interesting. So yeah, just a nice simple one, keep a track of everything, and that way stuff doesn't get forgotten about. I've downloaded the manual for this new car, because obviously I don't have it yet, so it's got all the service intervals and all that kind of stuff, so we'll go through that, and I'll just make a quick note on the side of the spreadsheet, just so you know at 20,000, when you do the 20,000 service, you know that it's either just oil and filter, or it's oil and filter and something else. Whatever you need to check, you check. I will take it. Saying that, I am going to take it to the dealer. I'm not going to. I'll do my own oil changes if I do them any more often than what needs doing. But otherwise, I will take it to the dealer up until around about 40,000. Once it's out of warranty, then no, I'm not taking it back to the dealer. It comes with a few free services anyway. I think you get like 3 or 5 years. It depends if you want to pay a package. So yeah, I'll definitely be going back to the dealer. Saying that SS Commodore that we had never went back to the dealer. I did everything on that. But I mean, this car's a little bit more advanced than the Commodore. So with being twin turbo, I've never had a turbo car before. So yeah. So yeah, no, we'll do that I think. But Bunnings is just here. So I've got to get a strap for that bike rack to go around the post and the seat to hold it, which that's happening tomorrow. So I've got to get a strap, I need some bleach, and there was something else I needed. I've written it down on my phone, so I'll have a gander what it is, and we'll go from there. Alright. I like going to Bunnings without the missus. Lets you have a look around a bit better rather than being under the pump. Picked up a few goodies too. I'll show you when we get home. Pretty busy in there for a weekday. I mean, a lot of people still on holidays, but it's only Thursday today, but yeah, a lot of people had the rest of this week off, so as I did, so worked out alright in the end. But yeah, she's pretty chocker. The car park's almost full. It's like a Sunday busy kind of thing. Yeah, didn't do too many videos over the Christmas break. There just wasn't a lot going on. We were busy doing things, but nothing worth filming. So yeah, I let it be for a bit. It was good actually having a bit of a break, but glad to be back into it now. It's good. So I picked up a new screwdriver set, because the one I've got I've had for ages. Not the screwdrivers wear out, but they're just not. They're like that cast epoxy kind of hard plastic, so when your hands are greasy, probably okay for like a carpenter or someone like that. But when you're working on the car and your hands are a little bit oily or whatever, you just can't grip it. It's just, there's no grip there. And I noticed it a few times. And my dad said something last time we were working on the car. He said, "Oh, give us a big screwdriver or a rag or something," because he couldn't turn something that you could easily turn if your hands weren't full of oil. And also one of my screwdrivers, I don't know how it's happened, but it's one of the flat ones. It's got a massive chip out of right at the tip, and it's the size that you use all the time. I don't know how it happened, but anyway. Yeah, it's went for a ride there. Yeah, it's one of the most common size ones. So yeah, I've been meaning to get one, but I ended up with a King Chrome. Most of my tools are King Chrome. So yeah. And another thing I need to get is a Torx. They didn't have them there at Bunnings, but I need a Torx set for sockets. It's one thing I don't have. A lot of these new cars now, everything's a Torx bit on it. So, and I don't want to buy like an 8-piece set. I want to get like a good 20-piece set or something like that with every size under the sun. I've got a couple Torx bits, but I just never end up having the right one. So, yeah, I need to get that. But what I need to do is get a bolt, because I did end up buying some a while ago, just some cheap ones just to get me by. But they weren't even Torx. They were something else. I don't know if they were. I don't think they were Allen key, because an Allen key is more. Yeah, I think there's Torx and then there's something else. I don't know, but yeah, it just didn't fit. The stars didn't align properly on it. So yeah. But yeah. Anyway. Yeah, so we'll go home. We'll go through what I just got then. Well, it's nothing fancy, but and then we'll make these spreadsheets up for this car. Yeah, just a nice simple one. Keep track of everything. I used to live next door to a guy back in the day, and he was right into data and collecting, and I think that's what he did for a job. And yeah, he had just a run-of-the-mill Subaru Forester, I think it was, just a everyday family car. But yeah, he had a file, like an expandable file, every receipt, and I'm talking fuel receipts and oil and service receipts and all that. I'm probably not going to keep that, because you keep the service record in the book. But yeah, I'm probably not going to keep the actual receipts. Maybe I will, I'm not sure. But he had, even when he bought fuel, he would keep the receipt for the fuel, and he'd enter that into a spreadsheet and, work out his own kilometres per, or 100 litres per 100 kilometres, or whatever you want to work it out as. Yeah, he was a fanatic, absolute fanatic about data. He wasn't even into cars, but he just he just likes collecting data. I think gives him something to do. So yeah, that was a bit funny, but I'm not going to go to that extent. But I'm definitely going to keep some kind of record. So yeah, I think it's interesting. Like every now and again, I look at the Torana stuff, and you have it in your mind that you did it 5 years ago, but then you look at the receipt and it was like 15 years ago. And yeah, you get to appreciation for how quickly time goes by, that's for sure. But yeah, like I said, this car, apart from a couple little cosmetic things like the tint, the ceramic coat, and getting that Katana wrapped in black to match the roof, I'm not changing the wheels. I quite like the wheels, and they're good wheels too. They're Ray's engineering wheels, so they're not just like stock Nissan wheels. They're already good wheels. The brakes and the brake discs I might change, but not straight away. They're just a generic solid rotor. I wouldn't mind putting some vented rotors on. DBA do a track rotor for them. I wouldn't get the full floating hub one, because they're about $580 a piece, and you only change the front ones. But I probably would, if I get the other ones. I think they're T3s or T4s, I can't remember. I got them on the Torana, and they're really good, and they last for ages. So yeah, I'll definitely probably change the pads to the Nismo pads, because they reckon that's a fairly decent upgrade by not even changing the caliper, just the pad. And the rotor I might change eventually, but no time soon. And if I change it, I'm never going to track the car, I don't think. It'll be purely cosmetics to get a nicer looking brake rotor with some, you don't want cross drilled because that shit's no good. They don't even let you on some tracks now if you've got cross drilled rotors, because they can crack, because where you've drilled it, where they have been drilled, they cools off a little bit quicker compared to the surrounding metal, and you can crack. So yeah, I'm not interested. I don't think they even do cross drilled anymore. I'm not sure, unless it's cast. As it's cast, the hole's already there, but they definitely don't drill them anymore. I'm not sure. I don't know. DBA, like the leaders in that kind of stuff in Australia for that. So yeah, they would know. They would do it properly. Yeah, so yeah, just get some slotted, vented and slotted rotors. I'm pretty sure they're vented already, but they're definitely not slotted. They're just a solid rotor. Like I said, purely cosmetic. It looked nice to have it. I may get it lowered. I'm not sure yet. The car's pretty low to get in and out of as it is. Again, it's purely cosmetics. If I'm going to do it, that's all it's for. So not sure there. Tyres, comes with decent tyres, so I'll probably keep them. What else is there? I've been looking at exhaust, but I don't think I'm going to change the exhaust. I reckon I'm going to leave it. The auto, which is what I'm getting, comes with a fairly decent exhaust on it already. Like, I don't want any ricer, too loud, trumpety, raspy kind of stuff. I'm not into that anymore. I want it to be quiet, with a bit of a note when you give it to it, but just normal driving, I want it to be fairly quiet. So yeah, so I've been looking at a few exhausts, but again, that's not something that's going to change straight away. It's going to be down the track, so it'd just be good to keep a track of all the little things that you want to do and add it up one day if you want a surprise. Anyway, we'll see you inside. Right, so that's all I got. It wasn't too much. I was meant to buy one of these online, but I forgot about it, and then I've seen them there at Bunnings. So it's a self-adhesive sticker that's a measure tape. So I was going to stick that right at the front of my toolbox, because that's handy to have if you ever are measuring things and you want to, you can just lay it up and measure it. So yeah, I thought that'd be pretty cool. That's the strap for the bike rack to go around the seat post and around this new post that I'm going to weld. So that's what I need that for. I went past the cleaning aisle. They've got a whole new range of cleaning stuff. This brand here, I don't know who makes it, whether it's Bunnings or some other one, but that was only $1.15, I think it was. And last time we were at Bunnings, we picked up them dishwashing tablets. So there's 100 tablets. They're like half the size of a normal one, which is perfect for that thing. And all that, 100 tablets was $12. Normally around that for 100 tablets, you're looking at about 40, 50. If you get the really fancy ones, they're $60. So yeah, good value. So give them a shot. They seem to work all right in the dishwasher. I mean, this is just all finished. This thing was caked on with stuff. There's one little hard bit there. I'll just scrape off. Oh, it just came off. There you go. So yeah, pretty happy with it. It's work. You can feel the dishes. When you feel them, it's almost making that noise, that really clean noise. So yeah. And some bleach. Mrs. wanted to. I only went there for the bleach and that strap, and ended up coming back with all this stuff. But anyway, and then this is the screwdriver set I was talking about. Boys, come on, that's enough. They always get a bit excited when I come home, even though I was only gone for like half an hour. I suppose they don't have a watch. They don't know how long I was gone for, but yeah, they play up a little bit. Plus, we've been home with them for the last 2 weeks. Haven't been working, so they're used to having someone here. Oh yeah, it comes in a nice box, I suppose, that you could keep if you wanted to. Sometimes what I do is actually cut this off, cut the lid off, and then keep this bit in the bottom of your toolbox. So I may do that because that keeps them nice and neat and in order. And yeah, so what do we got? So yeah, that's much better. That's a little bit slippery, but that's really grippy, that bit there. So yeah, happy with that. The reason I bought those last ones is because they're a through shaft, I think they're called. So they've got the shaft goes right through the handle and then comes out here. So if you ever want to bang them with a hammer, you don't stuff up your handle. You bang in metal all the way down. I don't know about these. I wouldn't go hitting these with a. Wouldn't go hitting them with a. Plus, you shouldn't be using a screwdriver to do that kind of stuff anyway. So yeah, clicks in. Oh yeah, I think. Yep, there we go. They weren't sitting in. So yeah, everything clicks in. Yep, there we go. So yeah, pretty nice set. That'll probably be the last set of screwdrivers I ever buy, hopefully. I've only ever bought, this is my third set, so, and only because my first set was like a real cheap set, and the Phillips screws started stripping, like wearing out. The second set was the set that I've got now. Yeah, so not too good. Only due to the fact of the handles. The tips are really good, very strong. I think it's a Sidchrome set, Sidchrome or something, yeah. Now these ones, so yeah, no, happy with that. That should go good. I'll leave that out. I've got the recycling bin out in front of the house. I'll have to go and chuck that in later. But yeah, we'll go and muck around with these spreadsheets and see what we got. Okay, so that's an example of what I've done previous. Let's see if I can zoom in a bit. I'm not. Yeah, screen capture is not a thing for me. So you're just going to get this view. So I call my car Shirley. We always name our cars. The wagon's called Shirley, and my missus's little car is an i20, so her name's Eileen. Haven't come up with a name for the new car yet, but it's going to start with Z for sure, or Z, or Z. No, we call it Z. Anyway, I bought the car at 48,000, I think it was, 48,000 Ks. So 50K, I did an oil filter, cabin air filter. 60 did coolant and brake fluid, oil and filter. 70K oil and filter and trans fluid flush, or just drain it and didn't flush it, but just drain the old stuff, put new stuff in. 80K I did oil filter, brake fluid again. So every 20,000, yeah. Anyway, brake fluid's cheap. An air filter, front and rear brakes. LED interior lights, the number plate lights, park lights, and new headlights. So 90K, so that's what I did at 80K. I've done 88,000, so 90K is, I'm only expecting it to be an oil and filter. Nothing else has popped up. What I really should do in here is go 88K. Aircon regas. Aircon regas. Yeah, and that's enough. Yep. So just chuck that in for a bit of history. It's written on the guy that regassed it for me actually wrote it on a sticker and put it in the engine bay, so it's in the car, but at least it's here as well. So then 90K, so I've only got another 1,000 Ks. It's going to take me weeks to rack 1,000 Ks up because I don't take the car to work. I take my bike and my scooter. So yeah, it's going to take weeks, if not months, to rack up another 10,000 Ks. Another 1,000 Ks, sorry. So in a bit, I'll ring my dad up in a few weeks, and I'll just say, can you get me? I think I've already got a filter. I think last time I did it, I bought 3 filters for some reason. So I'm pretty sure I got a filter. I just need some oil, so he gets the oil at trade price, so I'll get him to do that for me. And then at 90K, everything's here, and that's all we have to do is an oil filter. And then 100K looks like it's going to be oil, filter, spark plugs, and a cabin air filter. Those spark plugs are meant to last in there for 120,000 kilometers, but I'm going to do them at 100. The only reason is the car can compensate for a failing spark plug, not one that's completely not sparking. You'll come up with a misfire engine code, but they do lose spark after a while. So that it may only be like 50% good, and then what it does is it trims fuel out because it's not burning it properly. It trims fuel, and you won't know the difference, but the computer's doing that. And also, I don't like leaving spark plugs with their thread in one place for 100,000 kilometers, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, thousands of times. It's no good for it, so I'd rather take them out a bit early, and I'm going to put iridium plugs. I'm pretty sure that's what's in it, because not many other spark plugs last that long, 120,000 or whatever. So I'll put iridium plugs back in it. I'll put iridium plugs in all my cars now. So the Tirana's got it, that Eileen's, the i20's got it. My wagon will have it in another 20,000 Ks. If it doesn't already have it, then it's got it. But anyway, and the new car, the Nissan definitely has Iridium plugs in it, because if you've seen a picture of the engine bay, I'm pretty sure it's almost an engine out job, or drop the suspension and change the spark plugs. You can't even see where they are. It's just so tightly packed in there. It's unbelievable. That's why they come up with these Iridium spark plugs, so that you're not changing. You don't have to take the engine out to change them every 10,000 kilometers or 20,000, whatever the old ones used to last. They're pretty much come out when you're doing a timing chain or belt, which is engine out or something like that. Some big service, they kind of made those spark plugs to last until a massive service. So yeah, that's why they made them. But they're good. They're much better spark plugs anyway. They're heaps better spark plugs. So yeah, so that's kind of all I'm going to do for the new car. I won't show you it because I'm pretty much going to copy and paste that. That's all it's going to be. I leave lines here, so because I normally print this out when I know we're coming up for the service. So like in a few more weeks, I'll print this out, and then it's oil and filter, and then just in case something else happens, I'll write it in here, and then I'll bring it back in here like whatever 2 days later, and whatever I've written down then goes like all this would have been written down in there, and then that way it's all digital. And I don't have to worry, and then throw that piece of paper out, and then I know what's coming up for the next one, and keep going from there. So yeah, like to be a little bit organised and know what's coming up rather than leave surprises. Yeah, so I'm just going to do everything on Google Drive rather than keep it on my computer, just in case something happens. I've got it all here, and I've got docs from the dealer, which is my receipt for my deposit that I've paid. And also I've got the signed contract in there that I've just scanned as well, so that'll go in here as well. So that way, if I ever do go to the dealer and they ask me for something, I don't have to bring paperwork with me. It's all here on Google Drive, which is then on my phone. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. And then yeah, like I said, I downloaded that owner's manual, which is here. Probably, let me find it. Okay, so let me just zoom in a bit. So it looks like they want it even. You'll have to pause it if you want to read it. I don't know if I can zoom in anymore. Oh yeah. So they want. So continue maintenance of the same. Okay, yep. So the first service is at 8,000 kilometers. A lot of cars. Not that I bought a lot of new cars, but back in the day when I was getting into it, they want to service at 1,000 Ks, so they drop the oil and put new oil in, because you're going to get wear with all the metal parts in the engine, because they're just getting used to each other, rubbing on each other all the time. This car apparently it's not a good idea to do that, and they don't do that at 1,000. 1,000 Ks, they normally just check the tyre bolts and make sure your tyre's not going to come off and check a few things, but they don't change the oil. The reason for that is Nissan in their oil put a run-in oil in their cars, and I don't know if they do it in every car, but in this car it's got a run-in oil with it's probably got extra zinc or something like that in the oil, and so that way it helps it run in better. And if you go and dump the oil out at 1,000 Ks, then you've just dumped all that. I know you're going to have metal in it, but that's what the filter's for. So you're going to have metal in your filter, but that doesn't mean that you've got metal in your engine, because it's the filter's caught it. So it's not a bad thing, especially on the first service or first oil change at 8,000 Ks. But yeah, if you go and dump that oil at 1,000 Ks and then just put normal run-of-the-mill oil in, then you're not getting that extra zinc content and all the other stuff that they've put in the running oil for the next 7,000 Ks. So that is going to happen. So I'm definitely going to leave it to 8,000 Ks for that first oil change. Exactly what it says here. And then yeah, inspect brake pads, inspect it. So yeah, not brake pads and rotors, because they're moving and they're important, so you want to do that. Exhaust, because it gets really hot and then cools off and then really hot, so you want to just check tension on all that. Steering gear, because that's what makes the car turn, so they want to, safety things apart from that exhaust is just because it gets hot. And then it looks like every 8,000 after that, so 16,000 is inspect auto transmission fluid. So that's gonna definitely go back to the dealer for that one. replace engine oil and filter, and a tyre rotation. You can't do a tyre rotation on these cars because they're directional and they're staggered. There's two 5.5s at the front and two 7.5s at the rear, so you can't. So that's null and void really, that last bit. And then inspect. Request the dealer to inspect the fluid data consult if it. Okay, so that's about your automatic transmission fluid. Is displayed. Change the engine oil and filter as soon as possible after replacing the engine oil. Reset the display. Okay. So yeah, what was that? That was 16,000. Yep, and then 24,000. So it's every 8,000 kilometers. So that's good because I was going to do every 10,000, thinking because my wagon's 15,000, but I do it every 10,000. So I'm going to do this every 10,000, but it's actually every 8,000. So that's cool. So I'm just going to keep a record of all that. I will show you. But I'm not going to list all these things because it's not for me to do, that's for the dealer to do. So but it's a good idea to just yeah, so 24, they want to inspect the battery cabin micro filter. I'd say that's the cabin filter for the air conditioning. Inspect all that, tyre rotation, replace brake fluid. So that's at 32,000. So there's no, that's weird. So you're doing replace engine oil and filter at 16,000, but then you're not doing it at 24,000. 24,000 is just, yeah, okay. That's a bit weird. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do it every 8,000. And then 32,000 is diff gear oil, manual transmission gear, axle and suspension parts, engine and oil filter, and a rotation which doesn't need doing. Okay, standard, and then severe brake pads. Yep, okay, easy as. So it is literally every 8,000. So 32,000 and then 40,000. That's definitely going to have a. Oh, okay. So they're doing them every second. So every 16,000 they're doing oil. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. No way. No way. I'll do every 8,000 oil. I'll do what they say at every 8,000 interval plus change oil and filter. That's yeah. So that's when I'll do that service. See, like this it's not worth going to the dealer for that at 24,000 Ks. It's just your remote battery and cabin filter. I can do that, and then inspect everything. I can do that, and then I'll do oil and filter as well. And then this service, 32,000, will go back to the dealer for that, because that's inspecting all sorts of stuff, evap vapor lines and fuel lines. They'll do all that and do a oil and filter change at that interval, 32. Then at 40, standard maintenance, it doesn't need anything at 40, but I will do oil and filter at 40 plus inspect all that. And then at 48, it'll go back to the dealer and inspect automatic transmission fluid, lines, pads, all that stuff. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It's not too bad actually. It's yeah, once it hits 64,000, that looks like a decent one. Data, yeah. If the oil replacement. So yeah, it's pretty good. So you're not really doing a lot until 64,000. That's going to take me years to rack that up in that car. So yeah, I'll just I'll quickly whip up a sheet with that information in there, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, yeah, I think that's all I'm going to do. Just keep it really simple. I'll zoom in on that. So I just put a bit of a heading, Nissan Z. When I know the VIN number, I'll put the VIN number in. Ordered date and purchase date was the same. When it gets delivered, I'll type that in. That'll be a good feeling filling that out. And then notes, I just put tyres. I don't know they're an R18, but I don't know the profile. So when I know all that stuff, when I get the car, I'll put tyres and the right size, all that stuff in. And then when I know the oil filter part number, cabin filter part number, when I know all that stuff, then that all gets filled out in here as well. So that way, if you want to ring the dealer up, you just crank this open and go, yeah, I need, oil filter part number this, cabin filter this, that kind of stuff. And then from what I'm telling from on this side with the manual, that's what we're doing. So 1,000 Ks, it's going back to the dealer. I don't want to know about it. 8,000 Ks, it's going to go to the dealer for a checkup, but then when it comes back, I'm doing the oil and filter because they're not going to do it. 16k, it goes to the dealer and they do everything. So 16k, I was just where is it? 16. Yeah, they inspect a lot of things. They replace the brake fluid and they do engine oil and filter, and that's it. So that gets done at 16. Then at 24, it's all it is me doing it, because it's not going to go to the dealer, because all it needs is oil, filter and a cabin filter. So I can do that, that's easy. And then 32k is an actual big one, so that's going to go back to the dealer for the 32k, and it's going to be inspect all that stuff and then replace differential gear oil, replace the brake fluid again. So every 16,000 they're doing brake fluid, replace engine oil and filter, don't worry about tyre rotation, inspecting all that, and then replace automatic transmission fluid and replace brake fluid, but it says that there, and then check all that stuff as well. Yeah, so I'm not going to go any further than that, because I guarantee you it's going to take me a long time to get to 32,000. They're saying 32,000 in 2 years, and I'd say for me that's going to be closer to 10 years. So it'll probably get more oil changes than what you see there. Apparently, I was just reading, I went back a page too far. Your vehicle is equipped with an oil control system. It calculates engine oil and filter change interval based on driving conditions. Driving in severe conditions will shorten the engine oil and filter change interval. When the oil replacement indicator appears in the vehicle information display, the engine oil and filter need to be replaced. So it kind of monitors how you're driving it, and it knows when it needs to change its oil. So that's pretty cool. So if it doesn't tell me, I'll do it every 8,000. Otherwise, if it tells me at 6,000, then I'll change it at 6,000. No big deal. So all cool. So yeah, that's all it's going to be. And then I'll get rid of this zoom because I can't use it like that. About there. Yeah. So then I'm just going to do another one. Oh, this is untitled. So that's Nissan Z service. We'll call that one. And then I just want to make another one. I think that's, you don't have to press save with this stuff. Yeah, just go back, I suppose. Or close it. F5. Nissan Z service, there we go. And then if we go new, probably I'm going to do a sheet for this rather than a doc page. And it's literally going to be, I'll fill it out, I'll get back to you, otherwise you're going to be watching me do this, pretty boring. Okay, real quick, so quick little title, item, so whatever the receipt is, you just write, exhaust, tint, ceramic coat, whatever, the date, the kilometres on the car when you did it, and amount. I think that's about all you really need. So yeah, just a dollar amount. And then down here, I've just got a 0 at the moment, because that is, if you look at the formula bar, it's a sum of D3 to D44, so D3 to D44. So whenever you type in like $5, $10, that'll just be a running count of what you've spent on the car. And I think it needs to be as simple as that. You really don't need much more, I don't think. That should be enough just to keep a track of things. And then obviously you scan the receipt and then save that to Google Drive as well. So that way, this is just a quick lookup table. You can just go, oh yeah, cool, $3,000, whatever. And then you've actually, if something goes wrong, you've got a hard copy. I'll probably keep the hard copy as well, and also a scan of the receipt on the computer. Yeah. So apart from that, I don't think really need to do much more. Close that. I don't know where that's saved actually. There it is. It's under service info, so we probably want to put it, I don't know if it works like that. I'm not too good with the old Google Drive. Anyway, I'll create another folder and I'll put that under receipts or something like that. But yeah, or mods, receipts. Yeah, probably receipts, not mods, because it's going to be for everything, not just mods. And if you notice what I did there, I think it's like 40 lines. And I'm hoping not to fill those 40 lines with modification receipts. I'm hoping to fill about 4 of them, if that. So all good. All right, well, I'll leave that there. Hopefully you can use some or none or all of that info if you're getting a new car and creating your own little database of things if you want to keep track of things. Bit easier than just shoving receipts and writing things down into the glove box or in a shoebox somewhere. That's kind of how I got all the Torana stuff, but there's hundreds and hundreds of receipts for the Torana, so I'm not scanning each one of them, that's for sure. So yeah, I reckon this would be a good way to do it. And yeah, every time you get a receipt, just leave it here on your desk, and then you finally do it one day and scan it and put all the info in, little bit by little bit. So yeah. Anyway, cheers for watching, and we'll catch you next time.